There's a kind of connection that looks totally ordinary to everyone else, but somehow feels completely different to the two people inside it. Nobody else gets why one random word sets you both off laughing. Nobody else knows why you glance at each other the second a certain thing happens. Nobody else understands the story behind that dumb nickname, that one weird joke, or that tiny moment you keep bringing back up out of nowhere. And if someone asks, "What's so funny?" you'll probably just say, "Nothing," because actually explaining it would take 20 minutes and somehow make it way less funny anyway. That's the strange thing about having a little world with someone. It doesn't mean you're hiding some huge secret. It just means the two of you have slowly built a space made out of shared memories, private humor, small habits, and stuff only you two understand. And sometimes that little world says more about a connection than obvious flirting ever could. Here are 3 lower-key signs you might have built one of these little worlds with someone. And the third one's probably the sweetest. 1. You have invisible jokes that don't need explaining. Every close connection eventually grows its own weird language. Not a literal language, though sometimes it gets close. One word can make you both crack up. A certain phrase, a ridiculous nickname, a random reference to something that happened months ago that you've never once explained to anyone else. And the funny part is nobody else has any idea why it's funny. You'll be sitting with a group, someone says a totally ordinary word, you glance at each other, and suddenly you're both trying not to laugh. Everyone's confused. Someone asks, "What?" And you just say, "Nothing," which obviously makes it worse. But that little reaction says something. You've built shared meaning around something completely normal, just because of an experience only the two of you had. Maybe you both got confused about something once. Maybe someone made a genuinely embarrassing mistake. Maybe an awkward moment turned funny later once you'd both had time to laugh about it. Whatever it was, it didn't just disappear. It turned into part of your private collection. Eventually, you don't even need the full story anymore, just the reference. One look, one word, a small smile, and you're done. The conversation's over, and you're both laughing while everyone else wonders if they missed something. These jokes aren't usually funny because the original event was hilarious. They're funny because you both remember how it felt. And they end up working like little emotional shortcuts too. You've had a rough day, they bring up the old joke, and you instantly feel lighter. They know exactly what'll make you laugh. You know exactly what'll get a smile out of them. Not because either of you memorized a list. You just learned each other over time. Worth saying, a private joke by itself doesn't automatically mean romantic feelings. Friends build these all the time. But when you notice these little references keep multiplying, when you're both actively adding to the pile, when you naturally look at each other during moments nobody else gets, that can be a sign of something a bit deeper. You're building a history together, and history is one of the things that makes a connection feel genuinely different from every other one you have. 2. You both know the version of each other that other people don't always get to see. This one's quieter. Everyone might know the confident, put-together version of them, but you know the version that gets nervous before something big. Everyone knows how funny they are, but you know when the energy's fake and they're actually running on empty. Everyone sees you joking around normally, but they can tell when you've gone unusually quiet. That's a different kind of closeness. You're not just collecting facts about someone, you're learning their patterns. You know what genuine excitement looks like on them versus the polite version. You know their real laugh from the one they use to be nice. You can tell when they're brushing something off that actually bothered them, and they start picking up the same things about you. You walk into a room and everyone treats you completely normally. They look at you and go, "You seem tired." And you think, "How did you even catch that?" Because they're paying attention. Not in some intense, over-the-top way, just enough to notice when you're off your usual rhythm. And sometimes they'll remember something you said in passing weeks ago that you've completely forgotten saying. You mentioned once you were nervous about something, and out of nowhere they ask, "Hey, how'd that end up going?" To you, it was one throwaway sentence. To them, it apparently stuck. That can make you feel genuinely seen. And when it's happening on both sides, the connection starts feeling a lot more personal. You know the public version of them, but you also know the tired version, the excited version, the awkward version, the thoughtful version that doesn't come out around everyone. And they know all of yours too. That's really what makes a little world feel meaningful. Inside it, you don't have to keep re-explaining who you are because they've already seen the different sides of you, and you've seen theirs. This doesn't automatically mean romance either. Deep friendships build exactly this kind of understanding all the time. But when there's a real emotional pull underneath it, this kind of familiarity can make the whole thing feel unusually safe. You start thinking, they actually know me, not the version you put out for everyone else, just you. And being known like that can honestly hit harder than being admired. Admiration says, I like what I see. Actually knowing someone says, I see more than what you show everybody else. That's a real difference. 3. You both have moments that feel like they belong to us, even though nobody ever said us. This one's the most subtle and maybe the nicest. Something turns into a routine without either of you deciding it should. Nobody sits down and says, okay, this is our thing now. It just starts happening. Maybe you always end up on the same random topic. Maybe there's a place you keep randomly running into each other. Maybe there's a specific joke that comes out every time a certain thing happens. Maybe you have a particular way of saying goodbye, or one of you always sends the other something funny after a rough day. At first it feels like a coincidence. Then it happens again, and again. And eventually it's just normal, and you realize you built something without ever officially deciding to. It can be genuinely simple stuff too. You both just know that if something funny happens, you're telling each other about it. You both know exactly which topic is going to spark a pointless argument. You both know the one joke that instantly changes the mood in the room. None of it needs to be dramatic. A real connection doesn't have to feel intense all the time to actually mean something. Sometimes it becomes special purely through repetition, a tiny tradition, a familiar rhythm, something that would look like absolutely nothing to anyone watching from outside. But here's the actual test. Imagine one of your little routines just stopped tomorrow. No joke, no usual back and forth, no familiar exchange. Would the day feel even slightly off? If the answer's yes, that small thing probably means more than you've given it credit for. And if the other person seems to notice it's missing too, now you're onto something. Because you're not just sharing time anymore, you're building continuity. A thread that keeps showing up across different days, and that thread becomes part of what the two of you actually are to each other. Nobody else has to get it. Honestly, that's kind of the point. It's yours. Not necessarily in a romantic sense, just in the sense that it came directly out of your specific experiences together. You couldn't recreate it with someone else because it was never really about the joke or the routine itself. It's a little world made of moments that only mean something because you were both there for them. Think about how many people you actually talk to on a regular basis and still barely know. Then there's that one person where a handful of ordinary conversations somehow turn into a whole shared history. A phrase becomes an inside joke. A mistake becomes a story you both bring up for years. A random afternoon becomes a full-on memory. A small habit becomes a tradition. And suddenly there's a version of your life that only exists because that person happens to be in it. That's genuinely a big deal. That said, it's worth staying grounded here too. Having inside jokes, shared memories, or a close friendship doesn't automatically mean there's something romantic going on. Sometimes a little world like this is just friendship functioning at its best. What actually matters is mutuality. Are you both putting into it? Are you both remembering the same things? Are you both adding new little traditions over time? Do you both seem genuinely comfortable being yourselves around each other? Do you both instinctively protect the little things that belong to just the two of you? If the answer is yes across the board, then whatever the relationship actually is, it clearly means something real. Maybe that's the part people overlook the most. Everyone's out here looking for the big, obvious signs. Who looked at who first? Who replied faster? Who stood closer? But sometimes the more useful question is a lot simpler. What exists between us that wouldn't exist without us? Maybe it's one ridiculous joke. Maybe it's a stack of shared stories. Maybe it's just knowing exactly how the other one's going to react before they do. Maybe it's a tiny tradition nobody else has ever noticed. None of it needs to be manufactured. It grows naturally, one conversation at a time, one laugh at a time, one ordinary day stacked on the next. And eventually you realize you're not just sharing moments with this person anymore. You've quietly built a whole little world together, made of things nobody else fully gets. And maybe the sweetest part is you don't even have to explain why it matters. You just know it does. Around everyone else, you're simply yourself. But around that one person, there's this extra layer underneath it. A private language, a familiar rhythm, a whole collection of memories just waiting for the right moment to get referenced. And maybe that's exactly why you smile when they walk into the room. Not because anything dramatic is about to happen, just because for a second, your little world is back. And honestly, sometimes that's really all the sign you need that a connection has turned into something genuinely special.